It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask them, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school. Been recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationship with the University of Miami.
Patton, another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami.
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Ferman of CaneSport.com, Lamar Thomas.
Well, I'm Gary Ferman, but I don't know what the heck happened to Lamar Thomas, to be totally honest with you. He was just here with me a moment ago, and he disappeared into the night. So I've got the best substitute in America for Lamar Thomas available, and that's our other cohort on this show. I see Izubee Charles, and I see you are now Lamar. I'm assuming Lamar is going to pop back into the studio any moment, but man, wild week, and we got a wild show for you guys tonight. We welcome you back to the Lamar Thomas Show, presented as always by Caneswear, your ultimate authority for all your University of Miami merchandise needs. If you need it with a U logo on it, you can go get it at Caneswear. They're at 2655 South University Drive in Davie. Or you could shop them around the clock at caneswear.com. Record sales this season at Caneswear, Izubee, and man, the Hurricanes just keep winning. It's absolutely amazing. You know, you're sitting there and Duke peels off a 28-3 run in the second quarter going into the early third quarter, and you're thinking, are we really watching this? I mean, think about this. Duke, a 28-3 run on the number, what then was the number 5 ranked Miami Hurricanes. And Miami answers it with a 36-3 run that, quite frankly, turned the lights out on everybody, including Lamar Thomas, who now is back with us. There you are. Man, what happened to you?
Speaking of turning the lights out, the internet went down in here, man.
I was like, where did he go? I'm like, we're ready to start the show.
I started sweating. I mean, the internet went down, so I'm on Ken's phone. I mean, this is I don't know what's going on. How you doing?
Crazy.
So
crazy.
I'm excited. I'm sorry about that, where the show started off, but I'm here. Let's get it.
All right. Well, we've already welcomed everybody. We've already set the stage. Miami putting up the 53-31 victory over Duke in very improbable fashion. Duke running off that 28-3 run in the middle of the game, and then Miami finishing it off with a 36-3 run of its own. Lamar, you were there, center stage. thoughts as in just another crazy afternoon of a spectacular season?
Well, unlike IC, I have an old heart, and man, that little mid part of the game, I went through a roller coaster of emotions. But that's what this team has done, over the last couple of weeks, man. It's been like a roller coaster. When they're down, they're not down. The other team might think they're down, and maybe our fans might think they're down, but they're not down because, being on that sideline, those guys, man, every time I've never seen the look of panic in their eyes, and that's important. But it all starts from that quarterback, when he's not panicking. Again, he threw an awful interception across field, as we saw. And, he comes back on the field like nothing happened and just started doing work. That's just the way this whole year is going for him. He's had plenty of Heisman moments, but most importantly, he's won ball games, and we're undefeated. So, everybody talks about the Heisman. I love the Heisman talk, but at the same time, you keep winning ball games, all that will take care of itself. And that's what they've been doing.
Well, right before the show, I got a couple emails from an address called Cam Ward for Heisman by way of Cane's Connection, which is the collective. And
Right.
So they're pumping him for the Heisman Trophy, and they're fundraising off of it at the same time.
Okay.
Good job, Cane's Connection. Got to keep the locomotive going. And Miami has also launched the Heisman Trophy campaign for Cam Ward. He obviously is very, very alive in the Heisman race. He's a co-favorite right now with Travis Hunter. The Vegas odds are plus 200, which is very low for a prop bet like that for those of you that aren't familiar with prop betting and gambling. And then you got Dylan Gabriel at plus 300 right behind them. And this is a tight race. Cam Ward showing up every single week, Lamar. You mentioned his impact on the other players, the fact that they don't panic, and they've been in some crazy situations this year. They're just inexplicable, being down 25 at Cal, allowing Duke to go peel off a 28-3 run. This is the number 4 team in the country, Lamar. We're getting to the nitty gritty now, man. How do you explain some of these disparities from point A to point B in the middle of football games?
Well, I can't say this from watching the game. I can say that we watched, especially on defense and on offense a couple of times, the coaches have made adjustments. And, so many years you go back to the North Carolina game a couple of years ago, go back to the Florida State game a couple of years ago where we couldn't stop one play and they ran it over and over and over again. And there was no adjustment. So the good thing is you're watching these coaches, this coaching staff, offensive and defensive, and players. You throw Cam in there also, have made the adjustments to say, okay, whether you're not giving me the deep passes, so I'm going to take the short stuff. Okay. We're playing man to man and you're killing us. Okay. Now I'm going to start bumping things and showing some zone and disguising things in the second half. It's going to confuse you a little bit. And that's just the way it's gone this whole year. And, as fans, we get a little upset when they start scoring points and stuff like that. But, I got to give it to Guidry. I got to give it to the offensive coordinator. They've made those proper adjustments and we're still undefeated because without those adjustments, we're sitting here like years before criticizing or feeling down and sad and not happy, but they've made those proper adjustments. So give it up to Mario and his staff.
Okay, so you give up a 28-3 run. The fans are all over Guidry. you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But you're down there on the sideline and you say there's no panic. How do you not panic when you just gave up 4 touchdowns to Duke in a span of a quarter and you're trying to get to the college football playoff, you're trying to win the ACC title, and everything's falling apart? You have no answers. You're making mistakes all over the place. Kids are confused. They're throwing their arms up in the air. They're busting coverages. How does nobody panic in a situation like that, Coach Lamar Thomas?
It's just they've gone in at halftime, and some of those speeches at halftime have probably been legendary.
But is that a speech? Is that a speech? Like you're throwing your arms up, you don't know what you're doing?
Hey, man,
I see you're out on the field, you're playing football. You don't know what you're doing. What is a speech going to do for you?
A speech, it can do something, but once you have a quarterback like Cam Ward leading your offense, man, you're not out of any game. And I think that plays a big part in it. Obviously, I feel like, you never want to find yourself down and things like that. But, with a team like that, they've proven on multiple occasions, different type of environments at home, away, that, hey, no matter how much we're down in the second half, we can still win this game. And I feel like having that confidence, you can say anything in the locker room, just coming out, and, hey, we have to win this game. We've been in this situation before. There's a sense of kind of calmness and comfort in that team. So I think having Cam Ward is, all that you really need when you're down in a situation. Obviously, like I said, you don't want to be in that situation every single week, but you've proven it to yourself that you can get out of that hole if you ever dig it. So I think that's the biggest thing, honestly, with those guys, being calm in those type of situations.
But Cam Ward can't play cornerback. Cam Ward can't play safety. Cam Ward can't play linebacker. Cam Ward can't play on the D-line. Okay?
Right.
So I don't understand how, and it's happening. Mm-hmm. You don't know what's going on and what you're doing in 1 second, and then boom, just like that, now you're peeling off a 36-3 run. Yes, Cam Ward is a big part of that, but the 3 is their part of the defense. The same defense that was just getting shredded for 4 touchdowns in about a quarter. Lamar,
but Gary, that was
of this game. Explain this to us, please.
That was before they got to go in at halftime and get. I don't know what goes on in there. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But there are adjustments. The adjustments. Hey, you know what? Let's not play man to man. You look at USF game. They were getting killed by little Rudy. Little Rudy, number 38, was running around doing all kind of pick routes and all rub routes, and so they start bumping it in the second half. They made the proper adjustments. You look at the quarterback was confused. He threw some bad interceptions the second half. They started doing different things that they weren't doing in the first half. They were single high most of the first half. Okay, come back the second half. One of the first picks he threw, it was a safety back there. It was 2 safeties. It was like cover 2, but the safeties were robbing the outside guys. So there was they had a bad route concept too. They sent the tight end up the middle, but they put him on a hook route. So the safety saw the 2 guys take outside releases, and they just jumped on both sides, and they came out with an interception. They didn't do that in the first half. So they made the adjustments. They made the proper adjustments. We got a couple of turnovers the second half. And it was because, hey, they made some adjustments, confused the quarterback, made him wait in that pocket just a little bit more and let the guys get there. And they got sacks, turnovers, interceptions. So, you got to give credit to the coaches, man. It is what it is. And it's hard sometimes to make those proper adjustments on the sideline. You kind of wait until the guys from up top get down and give you the information. Those guys are watching the game. They give you information. You're looking over the information. You're spilling it to the kids, what we did wrong. And this is why we adjust to it. And let's do this now. We did that in the first half. Let's do this now. Okay, we got the data from upstairs. Let's do this. Came out with a different game plan. Confused them.
Well, and now they've got the iPads on the sideline too, which are a big help. When things are going bad like this, those iPads on the sideline are enormous for the coaches. And Lance Giddy was telling about this with how they kind of go about it. And Jason Taylor will make one suggestion, Chevette Jackson will make another one. It's kind of like by committee that they figure it all out and make these adjustments and try to turn it around. But what's crazy about the whole thing? Like, we're there at the stadium and we're going through these ups and downs of Lamar. You got the old heart. It's fluttering like crazy, like you're having a heart attack, and everybody else is too. They can't believe what they're watching. The season's going up in flames against Duke, Manny Diaz, the drama, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the game ends at 3 o'clock, 3:30. How many people in the country do you think were watching Miami play Duke? Okay, they see 53-31 Miami. Number 5 in the country moves to number 4 in the country. We're now still in the middle of the national championship race. We still got the leader for the Heisman Trophy, And life goes on to this next week in Atlanta against Georgia Tech, which promises to bring its own set of adventures. And we've seen what games against Georgia Tech go over the years can sometimes deteriorate into. We'll use the word deteriorate, Lamar. All right, so, and then we talked to Cam Ward after the game. Now, you mentioned the interception. This guy's like probably got a great chance to win the Heisman Trophy. Okay, he may go in the top 5 of the NFL draft the way this season's been going, but there's not one scout there for an NFL team that's not sitting there saying, we got to get this guy to stop throwing the ball across his body and throwing jump balls up in the middle of the field. Like, there is no football play or coach or anybody that would draw anything up like that. But you know what Cam Ward says to us? Tell him I see.
He said he'll do it again.
He said he would do it again and again and again and again, and he has made that play in the past, and he's going to make that play again. And you're like, but Cam, that ball's going to be intercepted in college 9 out of 10 times. It's going to be intercepted 10 out of 10 in the National Football League. He doesn't care, Lamar. This is a kid that is a unique cat. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, he is unlike anything I know I've ever seen here at the University of Miami. I've been here longer than you, believe it or not. I don't have the same gray because I don't have a beard. If I had a beard like you, I'd probably have a little gray, but I've never seen anything like this. And his confidence is insane. And there is nothing, you talk about staying calm, LT, there is nothing that rattles this kid, but I mean, you can't just throw, you can't do that. You can't throw that ball up for grabs like that. So I don't know, there's going to come a time and place here very soon where these games are going to be real football games. And he's got to eliminate that from his game. All the great things he's done, he has to eliminate that from his game. I hope you're still with us. You still with us, LT?
I'm losing you a little bit, Gary. So bear with me.
We can hear you. We can hear you. So I'm talking about Cam Ward.
Okay.
I don't know how much you heard of what I was saying, but the careless turnover that compromises all the great things that he's doing. We're getting to the nitty gritty of this season here. This is special. He's got to eliminate it. I think he's freezing up on us. I see. Mm-hmm. LT, you're freezing up if you can hear me. So I'm going to boot you and let you come back in.
Okay.
Oh, you good?
There we go. Yeah, put me back in.
You're in. Go ahead.
Well, I can see you, but
you're with us. Uh-oh.
We lost
He's having big technical stuff going on at Caneswear. Listen, Caneswear's internet might not be working, but if you need Canes gear, trust me, they are pure money in the bank. They got a little bit of everything, and I'm sure Lamar is going to show us some here in a minute. But I'm going to boot him from this. Let him start from scratch. I see. He's actually already doing it. And there we go. All right, now can you hear us?
I'm back.
All right. I'm just saying, man, the internet doesn't work at Caneswear, but the merchandise is money.
Oh, yeah. Merchandise is money. Matter of fact, I might rock this in Atlanta.
Ooh. It's got Coach LT written all over it.
Yeah, buddy. I'm so excited.
So, Cam Ward, did you hear anything I said?
I heard you say about the pro scouts, and then it went.
Well, I'm just talking about the guy's unlike anything we've ever seen. He makes unbelievable plays every game. There's no margin in the game that's too much for him. He's calm as can be. All those phenomenal things leading the Heisman race. But then every now and then he sprinkles in a play like that interception where he just loses his mind, throws the ball across his body. It's a jump ball in the air. Obviously, the NFL is going to want to get that out of him when it comes time late, next year. But we are getting to the nitty gritty of the season, and you can't make mistakes like that. But I think we lost Lamar again. All right, I see you comment on this.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to, because honestly, we asked Coach Shannon Dawson about that, and it was kind of funny in the press conference on Monday. We all had a little bit of a chuckle when we said, "Hey, Cam said he's going to do it again," and Shannon Dawson's like, "Hey, I'm not mad at it because Cam Ward's always attacking, and he'll make a play like that, but he'll come back and he'll take the blame for it, and he'll just keep going, And that's something that he said he likes in a quarterback who's not fazed by interceptions. And he kind of alluded to something. I don't know if he was talking about someone in particular, just quarterbacks in general. He said, I'd rather have a quarterback like Cam Ward that throws an interception like that and comes back and is unfazed than a guy that throws an interception and goes on the bench and pouts and all that stuff. So he said this early in the year, with Cam Ward, you got to take the good and the bad, kind of the yin and the yang. And the good, outweighs the bad by a lot, and the bad is pretty bad when it's bad. So I think, just how he responds to things like that. Obviously, today he spoke about ball security being a thing he's going to work on. Listen, he makes those, crazy plays, when he's scrambling, he finds Restrepo for the first touchdown, and then, things like that happen. So I'm kind of with Shannon Dawson on this. I'm not taking, that as bad as it is. Obviously, it's not a play you want to see your quarterback make, week in and week out, but he does outweigh the good, outweigh the bad with the good, making a lot of other big time plays for the team.
All right, let's make no mistake. Okay, for any other player, if Tyler Van Dyke is doing that, it's bad. Okay, it's as bad as it gets for a quarterback to just throw a ball up for grabs like that. And he's had turnover propensity his whole career. I think there he is. He's turned the ball over like that through his career. So any other player, like, that is bad. Okay. Credit to Shannon Dawson. This is just a spectacular coaching job. And LT, I hope you can hear me on this. We're still talking about Cam Ward. Shannon Dawson, okay, deserves a medal for people are saying, what do you mean? He's got the best quarterback in the country, blah, blah, blah. Dude, this is not how coaches draw this up. Like, this is improvisational football in a lot of cases going on. And he's having to mentally himself compromise on things that coaches don't compromise on. I was saying, LT, if Tyler Van Dyke's throwing the ball across his body, throwing a jump ball up in the middle of the field, I mean, everyone's going crazy. Cam Ward, you don't think twice about it. You move on to the next play. Talk a little bit about eliminating these things from his game and that dynamic for Shannon Dawson of having to adjust himself as a coach.
Well, I mean, you got a special player, and I've been in an offense where you have a special player who is the quarterback. So you ride or die with the good and bad, because there is a significant fall off with 1 to 2. Not taking anything from Emory. I think I watch Emory every Wednesday. I love him. I think he's great, but he's not Cam. And so being around Lamar Jackson, Petrino knew that, so he took the good with the bad, and sometimes he got on Lamar. Okay, but at the same time, he also knew this guy, the next play, could take it 80 yards in the flash, or make that big play scrambling and throwing it downfield with that arm. So you kind of take the good with the bad. Now, I've also been around quarterbacks that can't get out of that funk, and I've coached quarterbacks that can't get out of that funk, and it's not a good thing. It's not a fun thing, because you're trying to be gentle with your what's the word I'm looking for? With put it this way, you're just trying not to upset them any more than they already are. And I don't think that Guidry, just listening to them, I mean, not Guidry, Shannon, I don't think they really hold back. I've listened to their interactions, and they have great interactions, and they're truthful. They're, hey, that was a bad throw. Okay, let's get the next one, or hey, I want this play. Just like he was saying, hey, that was you were supposed to hand it off on the last play where he got sacked, where he had no protection, and the guy came from the backside. You were supposed to hand it off. So they're honest with each other. And this is every day that I've gone down there. I just love watching their interaction, because they're honest with each other, and they don't mince words, and they're like, it's like a marriage, man. So it's awesome to watch, and it's awesome to listen to them, because they both know, and they're trying to they're on the same page for the most part, and it's awesome to listen.
Well, let me tell you something. You talk about having a heart attack, okay? And your heart, you're getting a little older now. Your heart's not what it was when you were young. Okay, how would you feel if you were Michael Irvin, for example, who's an old guy like me? Okay, we were in school at the same time. That's how I know it. And you're down there on the sideline, and you're throwing your life into every minute of these games, and all hell's breaking loose. You're giving up a 28-3 run to Duke, and it's all crazy. And I can't even begin to imagine like what might be going through a guy like Michael Irvin's mind at that moment in time. Oh, hey, Michael, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? I appreciate you guys bringing me on and having me on. You know what I mean?
Well, we definitely appreciate you being on, Mike. I
clean that. Clean that camera you can see me.
I say all the time, you can only hope to contain Mike. You can't stop him. You can't stop him. I mean, you can only, and this was you in your playing days. You just hope to contain him. When you're on that sideline, get out of his way.
Dude, but listen though, and Lamar knows this, man. We're so blessed to get an opportunity to experience that. We had our runs, Most people go through life. If you get a great run, you never get another one. But we actually do get another one through these young kids, and since it's been so long, that makes it all that much more sweet. You know what I mean? To be at this place right here. And the best part about it, honestly, guys, is seeing the growth of these kids and watching them catch on to what's really happening now. I think it was Fletcher Jr. in the locker room last week when we were down. He was down by a few points. He said, "This ain't nothing. We already came back from 23 down. We already came back from 20. Dude, y'all don't even know what that means. Football is this much in the mind. You move the needle that much where you're believing, it don't matter. No matter what happened, we good. That's the difference between what you see in the NFL between all them other teams and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. When they got that coin toss the other day, Baker Mayfield said, "Oh man, game over." That's what we're setting off in college. You put the ball in Cam Ward's hand, "Oh man, game over." That's what we setting up. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. Hey, Mike, many people have asked me, first of all, what was he doing down there on the sideline on all fours? Okay. Secondly, what's up with that shirt? So can you address both of those for me real quick?
And it's a great opportunity to address both of them because, first of all, you know more than anything, Lamar, we're so superstitious. Football players, we're the superstitious. We're crazy. I mean, I have literally worn the same underwear to games for 5 weeks because I was going off. I was going off. And it didn't matter because it was going to get sweaty down there anyway. Don't worry about it. You just go get what you got to go get. The important part was getting them 200 yards. I had to go get them 200 yards. That's what my head was like. Boy, these underwear, they brought me 200 yards one game. I got to go get that again. I won 5 weeks in a row. You know what I'm saying? So what happened, I got down there, and we started mounting that comeback. And when you get down, we all know it. We be doing it on the sideline. Lamar. We move around because we think we're affecting the damn game. This ain't a good spot. Let's go over here. This is okay.
I got my spot. I always to the left.
Right. Now, why are we crazy like that? Why do we really think we're affecting the game? I got down there, and that relic started coming back. I was like, oh my God. And then I moved, and something happened. So I said, get back to where you were. Get back. I had to get back on all fours, but I had to leave that thing in the air until we finish it. You understand what I'm saying? Until we finish that comeback. And we did. It's like what it is, man.
Oh, man. And the shirt, man. You had the shirt on. You talk about the underwear for 5 weeks. I mean, that shirt, man, it looking kind of dingy, dog. But hey, hey, it is what it is. I mean, from all the hugs your hug meter is up 2,000, bro.
Dude, and I gotta give credit and love to all my peeps, man. They showed up when we talked about it in that Florida State game. They were out there, man. I hadn't seen a tailgate like that. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a tailgate like that in Miami. It was incredible. It really was incredible. So yeah, and carried around that shirt. Everybody asked about the shirt. So that shirt is about to be available to you probably as soon as tomorrow. You know what I mean? So as soon as tomorrow, we're gonna get it out and get it available. So yeah, only because when you're doing things like this, you got to continue to rally. The emotional side of it is so important. One of the young dudes, one of our kids told me, he said, man, they call him Unc. I love, man, when I came out here, when we come out here and we see you, and we see you guys out here. That means something. Boy, you know, I'm an old man. I almost cried right there, but, you know, I'm trying to hold my toughness. I said, we family, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's go. But I really wanted to grab me some pads, man, and try a route or two what he said. You know what I mean? I
No,
know
I
ain't nothing
told
up
you
there,
it's
but
over.
they pull you in like that, dog. They pull you
We're
in.
done.
What would happen? What would happen if you
We're
grabbed some
done.
pads and threw them on
We're
and went
done.
out there? What would happen today, Michael?
No,
Nothing.
you can't push
Nothing.
off no more. You can't push
Nothing at all. Nothing ain't gonna happen. I can't
no
run by
more.
nobody. Ain't nothing gonna happen.
Hey, so
Well, hey man,
go ahead, LT.
Yeah, right there.
no,
LT's having internet problems over there at Caneswear.
the run.
Yeah, that's where we're gonna be right there. You at Caneswear?
You got
LT?
to.
That's what LT's at
Yeah, he's in the
Caneswear.
store. Yeah, he's in the store.
Tell him them shirts gonna be right behind you in a moment. Right behind you in
There
a
it is.
moment.
You heard it right here.
Yeah, they're gonna be
You
right
heard it
over
right
there.
here. The church will be in Caneswear. That's
And
right.
right,
Made by Michael Irvin.
let me tell you what's so cool about this. Because remember, guys, when we first started all of this U stuff, all the U, we were called the Canes. And then, of course, when I started going to work with ESPN, Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, I was like, man, when I get on set, they gonna say, where's he from? Where's he from? And I was saying to myself, wait a minute, you know, because of the hotel situation, I didn't want to bring up that. I said, well, I don't want to say Hurricanes. I said, he's from the U. And then, boom, this thing took off. That off season, I came home, and Donna Shalala and I, we sat down and we came up with that campaign. Remember, I did that first commercial. And in the first commercial, we said, this is too small. And then the actual position that the shirt is in now, we did that position. I said, this is too much. And then we came back to this is just right. Always has been, always will be, all about the youth. And I believed it then. I did believe it then. But it's been so long since we've been on top and we talked about it and we are finally back here. This position now shows power. And we are powerfully making our statement. It's not too much now. It's just right. So let's get those shirts right over there where Lamar is. And we're going to fill the stadium with it. And every time we do it, it's going to be a representation of the power that's coming through the U when all of us have it up. Oh, don't make me preach a sermon. Who is it?
Hey, Michael, you know, I've seen you on the side of Lamar. I'm sure I'll be back in a minute, but the impact that you're having on these kids by your presence is absolutely enormous. And we've got one of them with us right now. That's Mr. Sam Brown. How are you, sir?
Oh, good, y'all.
Doing good, man. We got the playmaker here, hopefully mentoring you up a little bit. And, you know, Michael, talk a little bit about your interaction with guys like Sam and you know, what it's like for you to have, you know, try to impact them at this age of their lives.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Sam? What's up, man? Listen,
What's up with you?
let me tell you what's great about being on the sideline. Okay, I got you. Okay, I'm right over. Yeah, we're right over. Yeah. Okay, I'll go. Okay, yeah, they're trying to put me on the airplane. Oh, give me a second. I want to talk this. I gotta talk. Let me see what I enjoy being on the sideline, and he'll tell you what I've been trying to share. with these young men. These young men are looking and writing their history right now. They got so much destiny in front of them. And when we get in those kinds of games, it's what I tell them all the time. I'm like, I know this is not just a football game. How we do this game, how we come through this game determines how you live your life for the rest of your life. When we win in games like this, we win in life. When you come up short, you come up short in life. And we not coming up short in life. That's just that. We're not coming up short.
Oh, now we lost Michael too. Everybody's losing their internet tonight, Sam. I don't know what's going on. But welcome to the Lamar Thomas Show. Lamar will be back in a minute. He just had some technical issues himself, but so glad to have you on the show. And talk to us a little bit about this magical ride there, Lamar. This magical ride that you guys are on here, making plays, finding your way through the tough moments of games, and just finding ways to win.
For one, I'll probably start off with just saying, like, going back to you saying it's a magical season. I mean, it's not really too much of magic. Like, we put in the work every day. We come to practice every day, you know what I'm saying, being one of those. So it's not really too much magic been happening. We prove it to ourselves every day. So, and throughout the season, we had some tough games. We had some games where we wasn't executing at the best. So it kind of looked like some hard droppers. But to be honest, it was more so like we just got to find our execution. And as you can see, we like when we all come together and play complementary football, it all like at the end of the quarters, 4 quarters 0-0, we gonna come out victory.
Hey Sam, I gotta ask you this, man, because it's one of the questions I've been wondering. Why did you come to the University of Miami, man? We're happy to have you, but why did you come here?
To be honest, I kind of had a relationship already with Cristobal. When he was at Oregon, I had came out there like I was like one of my like first ever visits. I was like 15. I would say when I went out there, I went out there by myself. I and my 7-7 coach. We hit off our dinner there, but being from Savannah, Georgia. My parents didn't want to let me make a decision so quick, but Oregon was my dream school. You know what I'm saying? Like just the flashy uniforms, the back. You can go back to the background with David Thomas, Mariota. They made football look a little bit different back then. So, family, I kind of handed over there. Then Dawson, I play under him at Houston with Tank Dell. So I've seen how like the offense can compliment me. So I kind of, what I'm saying, I fell in love with the offensive scheme a little bit more than I could find at other schools.
Well, I
Sam,
tell you this, Sam. Go ahead. I see.
Okay. Sam, I want to ask you. Obviously, guys like Michael Irvin, NFL Hall of Famer, LT, a legend himself, and Reggie Wayne, a bunch of great wide receivers come out of Miami. Just how cool is it having those guys, any year on the sideline during games, giving you advice and just things like that?
It's amazing, like what I'm saying, like just cause like they've been in my shoes, they did it at the highest level, like they kind of like say. You're like, for instance, a football coach is not gonna play the football game with you, so you know what I'm saying. Like they kind of see it a little bit different. So like I'm able to come up to the sideline, talk to LT like this is what I see. What do he? And he'll be like, okay, now I see what you're telling me. He could tell me like a little slight technique thing that I could do just to beat him by a step or something like that. And Michael Irvin, just his energy, it's no point of you even being down with him because like he just so you can make a play for 10 yards, he happy like it's a touchdown. Like,
hey Sam, what's it like coming into in the transfer portal? You're here for a year. You come in late. Everyone's already got connections, and we could see a little bit of your mind racing a little bit on you at the beginning of this season, and then you started busting out, and now you're making plays almost every single game. But talk a little bit about what it's like to come to a team out of the transfer portal. I mean, we got one of our viewers here. He says, Billy DeLulu says he still sees you on some of the billboards in Houston, but now you're in Miami. What was that like for you to come here out of the portal?
it was different. I mean, because the first go around, I started off at West Virginia, and like the first transfer portal go around, it was a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't have like a lot of film to my resume. So it's kind of like Houston kind of took a little. They you feel me? They rolled the dice with me, and I appreciate them. They the reason I'm here right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's no bad blood at Houston, but I started off at West Virginia, transferred. It was a little dark world. Then boom, at Houston. It's a different. You know what I'm saying? It's a different team. We was probably a 500 team at the, you feel me, at the least. So you know what I'm saying, like right now we 100%. So it's a little bit different culture wise for like you know what I'm saying, like you got to be a real pro over here. So that's one thing, like I say helped me too, like coming over here, just being a lot with a lot of guys. That's what I'm saying, mindset, like it kind of pushes you to step up and like not be the last man behind. You know what I'm saying? Like we wide receivers, we pride ourselves on being the earliest to everything. So like say we got meetings at 6:30, we in there at like 6 o'clock, like being waiting on the coaches coming. So it's kind of like, you know, it's this preparation thing over here, and just the fitting in part. It kind of took a little minute just because I came in late, but I mean that's football, you know. Like it's just in the NFL. Like you could be on the Ravens playing Sunday night football, then the next day you get traded, you playing Thursday night with the Chiefs. So it's like you gotta adapt. So that's pretty much. I feel like at the beginning, I kind of didn't understand it, but that's why it's not a it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you feel me? We in for a long run. It's a lot more going on.
Where'd you hear that from? Hey, check this out. You know, I watch you, man. When you catch that ball, man, you're looking to, you know, you're shaking off tackles, you putting moves on people. I mean, this has been amazing to watch, man. I mean, has that always been one of your strengths? Because it's like one guy ain't gonna bring you down. And you've made some great runs this season after like 10-yard catches, turning them into 65-yard gains. I mean, has that always been one of your strengths?
Yeah, I pride myself on like just trying to be the most explosive player on the field. Like that's been my goal since I stepped foot on campus at Miami, just being the most explosive player. So you know, I'm just trying to live up to the hype. But for the most part, that been my skill set since a baby. Like I started off playing running back, so you know that's where the
There
elusiveness
you
came
go.
from, the vision.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying, it's kind of like second nature.
But you grew out of that.
Yeah, I grew out of
You be
that.
Well, I tell you what, man, we don't want to hold you too long. We just want you on. You know how I feel about you, my guy. And appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing a little bit with our fans. They love seeing you, love getting to hear you. And you keep doing it, man. You know how I feel. Just keep doing your thing, baby. All right?
Love. Appreciate you.
Good seeing
Appreciate
you,
you,
Sam.
Sam.
All right. Thank y'all.
Sam Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Michael had to go get on a plane, LT.
Yeah. Mike had to get on the plane. Wait, but he got announced that the shirt's gonna be up in this place, huh? How about
That's
that?
what he
Woo! Come
Breaking
on,
news on
Ken.
the LT show.
Here we go. Breaking news, baby. The shirt's gonna be, and guess what, guys? Now they're not gonna be dingy. Okay, they're not gonna be the same shirt as Mike. Now, if you want Mike Irvin's shirt, he'll probably sell it at the end of the season. Okay, or maybe he'll give it away. Okay, but it's a lot of sweat on that shirt. Now, I've been hugged by that shirt at least 30 times. I should have asked Sam Brown how many times he had been hugged by that. I mean, it's everybody is saying, man. We're looking forward to all people who.
I think we're losing him again.
That internet's crazy tonight. I don't know what's going on over there. LT, if you can hear me, we lost you again. Yeah, we're not hearing you clearly at all. Come back on. Come back to us. So I see. Sam Brown said something there. I wish LT hadn't sent him home, because like it was really interesting. Like he used the word pro. We have to behave like pros here, and we came with the insinuation that he had never experienced that before, and I believe that. Like, Mario runs this team like a pro team, and these guys are expected to be accountable. It's unwavering, And here's the kid that, you know, came here and he's out of the portal. Like he's looking, hey LT. So I'm talking about Sam Brown, you know, he comes here out of the portal and he's looking to like be the man. Okay. He didn't come here. He's here on a 6-month loaner. Okay. And he's looking to be the man and go to the NFL. And you see the ability he has. He's going to be a pro receiver, right, LT? I mean,
you know, I think one of the things that he's doing, he's just cleaning things up. You know, when you go to other places, you have these flaws or these perceptions. And so he's coming here, he's trying to clean all that stuff up and play great ball. And it's going to help him. And, you know, being around guys like Michael Irvin, Reggie Wayne, you know, all these guys that come around, these great receivers, you know, I think that he understands and he listens to us and he understands what we're saying. And we're also kind of preaching to him about reality. And so with that being said, when you have somebody that's speaking into your life, like you said, that's been there, it's different. You know, I've said it before when the Michael Irvins, the Eddie Browns, the Brian Blades, the Brett Perrimans, those guys came around, man, it was like, I just soaked it up. I asked questions. I wanted to know, you know, because they've been there. Like Sam said, when you got a guy that's been there and been in your shoes, been where you're sitting and gone on, it gives you instant, you know, like this guy knows. So I got to listen to him. He's been there, you know, accreditation or credit, instant credit or whatever the word I'm looking. Shit, I don't even know right now, but I'm so excited about this show and the internet been messing up and stuff, but
oh my God,
I feel good. I feel good.
This has been as crazy as the Duke game so far tonight. Like, you know, like we gave up a 28-3 run. Your internet's crapping out every 5 seconds. We got Michael Irvin over here visiting with us from the whatever airport
and describing that he's gonna put the shirt in here and saying he's gonna put the shirt in here, man. This is gonna be wild. People are gonna be knocking down the doors around here to get that shirt.
But anyway, so back to Sam Brown. So you could see the growth, LT. I mean, from just 2 months ago, I mean, I was a little worried about Sam just watching and seeing that he wasn't really involved very much in the game, which I knew was coming with an enormous amount of frustrations, and the fans are on him and Damian Martinez, who was kind of like in the same boat. They came here in the summer. They didn't have spring practice. They're now suddenly part of this team, which is a really good team with a lot of really good players. And they're not getting to impact the game in the way that they came here to do. And that's tough for a kid. I mean, this is it, man. This is it for Sam Brown. This is it for Damian Martinez. They're looking at April, the NFL draft. But you, LT, here we are, and now going into November, you could see the growth, and I know that you've been part of that. You know, you're there every week at practice, and you're on the sideline at games, and you're helping these kids. You could see the growth of Sam Brown from August, September to November.
Well, you know, just like I'm reading some of the viewers, you know, KB and all those guys in the wide receiver room, because there's a lot of them, you know, they're doing an outstanding job, because not only do they have to be able to coach those guys on the field, but when they step off that field, you got to still coach them, and you have to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist, all that good stuff, you know, to help these guys through the mental part of it too, because, you know, the wide receivers can be divas. We all know that. They can be divas, and they all want the football. But, you know, the thing that they're convincing them is that, hey, it's a long season, and if we're as good as we think we're going to be, we're going to need you, and you're going to show up. And that's what's happened. These guys are showing up. You know, hey, some games a guy might catch 2 balls. Some games a guy catches 4 balls. I mean, it's just everybody's showing up. I mean, those 4 guys have done an outstanding job this year. And, you know, I give a lot of credit to KB. I talk to him every Wednesday, you know, and he's really enjoying it, man. And what it is that he finally has a group where they have depth. So no one can hold him hostage. No one can say, well, shit, I don't feel like doing this today. Well, guess what? If you don't feel like doing it, there's another guy that's saying, nah, I'm going to do it. And they got a bunch of young guys that are hungry and are ready to rock and roll. So this has been man, this has been great, man. This is what you want as a coach because it makes your job a lot easier. But all you have to do is continue to push them in the right direction, mold them in a way, and make sure that they understand it. Not every day you're going to be happy, but you still got to come to work and you got to get better. And that's what KB's doing.
The receivers, man, they are getting it done. Restrepo, who now has officially wiped all you old guys out of the record book.
Not yet. Wait, hold on now. Wait. Me and Mike still left. We still left on the
You're still in there in small print?
Yeah. Well, we're still in touchdowns now. Mike had 26. I had 23. That's 1 and 2 right there, baby. Now you got to catch up. He coming.
Yeah,
he coming.
I forget what Restrepo's
total see, everybody
number.
forget. I think he got like 19, maybe.
19?
Maybe 19. I think 19. So he's gonna get it. I want him to get it. I want him to get it because that means that we winning. He's scoring touchdown. We winning. I want him to get it. I mean, this has been great to watch. You know, I was on some show. No, actually, it was online on Twitter. I think Luke had one of those. I forget what you call it, where people are tuning in and they're talking. And so I listened to this guy. Yes, thank you, young guy. And it's not even Twitter no more. It's X. There you go. So I listened to the guy, and he was saying, "Oh well, you know what? Hey man, he get the ball so much, and he was getting the ball, and you know he dropped balls, and you know, and he good friends with the quarterbacks." And I said, "Wait, hold on." I had to call. I said, "Luke, let me in." I read the guy. I said, "Let me tell you something, bro. As a receiver, your job is to catch the football. Your job also is to have a relationship with your quarterback where he knows that you're going to make plays for him. And so you don't even have to be friends, but it helps. But if he knows that he's going to make plays for you and you're his friend, hell, he's going to throw the ball to you. He knows shit. I mean, hey, I'm going to throw the ball to my guy. I know that he knows where I want him to be, and he knows it's a great relationship. So I told the guy, instead of complaining, like all of us, you know, our fans do sometimes, how about give the man his flowers? I mean, this has been incredible to watch. The game has changed. They don't have to run the plays in no more. They can sit there at the line of scrimmage so they can run more plays. Okay. We were downfield. They do vertical stuff a lot. And hey, it is what it is. You know, hey, you can do a pop pass thing to a guy, like pitch it forward, and that's a catch. I mean, how many of those did we watch Mike Harley run? At least 50 of his 100 and some catches. I mean, the game has changed. That's all that matters. I mean, it is what it is. We're old guys. We had the leather helmets. We had the Newman gloves. You know, hey, this game has changed, and I enjoy watching it, and I enjoy watching this receiving group. And, you know, Mr. Restrepo is doing this thing. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of all of them because I enjoy watching them. I enjoy being around those guys. It gives me the itch a little bit sometimes, but when I leave and I got to go to pick up my kids, I said, well, that itch can stay back there because I enjoy picking up my kids too. So, but yeah, it's just been fun to watch. And Restrepo deserves his flowers for what he has done. And, you know, I'm very proud of him. He's an awesome guy. He's a very awesome guy.
Well, the thing I love is it's not just about Restrepo anymore, and it was early in the season. And I remember sitting there saying, I think we talked about it on this show, and I'm saying we got to get some of these other guys involved. You know, Sam Brown wasn't really that involved. You know, George would come and go here and there. Horton would come and go here, but I mean, I'm thinking like we got to get these other guys impacting the football game because that is what is going to make this offense dangerous later in the season, and they've started doing that. And like, you know, Restrepo goes 8 for 146. Horton goes 6 for 71. Jacoby goes 4 for 74. Sam Brown goes 2 for 46. Now they're all getting to participate. It gives that room an entirely different feel and look. Lamar, you've been a receivers coach for many years. You know what I'm talking about. Tell the listeners what that means when everybody's getting opportunities.
Man, it is it's an unstoppable type feeling because you know that doesn't matter who the ball is going to, they can make plays. And you watch Horton, he's over there making plays. I mean, how many times did he catch that slant last week? He had to go up and get it a couple times. That was awesome to watch. You got number 3. That's why I call him 3. He's George. He's making plays downfield. He made some tough catches, man. His hands are a little underrated, man. He made some tough catches in that game. I mean, he obviously that one slant that was a tough catch. It kind of slipped through, but he made some tough catches earlier in that game to keep those chains moving. Okay, and obviously Restrepo, we talked about him, and Sam Brown. I mean, that's 4 guys. You better have 4 good DBs out there. See, that's what I used to love about when I was playing with Horace and Spence and K-Dub. And then, we had the Ruthless Posse, but we also had a tight end, Coleman Bell, who could line up at any position too. So you better have 5 guys out there that can cover us because we got one weak link. We're going to take turns on you like Diddy. We're going to put some baby oil on you, but we're going to take turns on you, baby. You know what I mean? And so I didn't mean to make Diddy reference, but it came up. Sorry about that.
Wow.
Sorry, Mama.
Wow.
Sorry,
You believe
Mama.
this? I see. It's his show. He can do whatever the hell he wants. But
Sorry, Mama.
Whoa. I see. You're young. You know how the mind of a young guy works. How big of a difference does it make when everybody is now contributing? Restrepo's busting the record book, but they're all getting to eat on Saturdays. How's the young mind process that?
Yeah, everybody's eating, and I got a seat at the table, so I'm happy as everybody. I feel like in that type of wide receiver room where there's so much talent, like LT mentioned, you got guys pushing you to be better because if you're slacking in practice, the next guy's taking your reps, and then behind him you got the young guys chomping at the bit. You see guys like JoJo Trader, getting some plays. We've seen Nikar a few times this year, so everybody has a full plate right now. You have guys breaking records. You have a Heisman quarterback that's leading the country, so a lot of spotlights on you as well too. And when you got guys like Sam Brown, that's trying to make that NFL, trying to get into that conversation is why he deserves to be in the NFL. Scouts are watching. Obviously, they're there, maybe there for Cam Ward or Damian Martinez, but you start making a few big plays, and hey, who's this number 11 guy? Your name gets circled. So with the type of offense that Miami's running this year, all the wide receivers, I believe all 4 of those guys are above 400 yards, multiple touchdowns. Listen, hey, my guys are having fun. They're eating. I'm eating. Why complain? Undefeated as well too. So I feel like what they got going, in that wide receiver room is kind of every wide receiver's dream because you see, some wide receiver rooms across the country, some guys are underwhelming, or you have that one guy with 900 to almost 1,000 yards, and everyone's at 200, 100, 300. Everybody's eating and breaking records. So as a wide receiver, I'd absolutely love to play under Coach KB and in that offense with Shannon Dawson.
Lamar, the level that these guys are playing at is extremely impressive. I don't know who else to credit but the coaches, and I know KB's one of them. I know you go out there, Michael goes out there. They got GA is helping out with the receivers. Cooney helps out a lot. Like we're seeing it with our own eyes, and that's not something we've always seen at Miami at every position, and we certainly don't see it at every position. These guys are on top of what they're supposed to do. They're running the right routes. They're catching the ball at an extremely, extremely high level. And I don't know, Restrepo's rewriting the record books like all you guys never played. I joke around about it. It's really true. I don't know that he's going to be a first-round draft pick. He's not. I feel comfortable saying he's not. He's probably, he's hopefully going to go somewhere in the second day and get his opportunity. And if he keeps playing like this, he will find an opportunity where he could play in the National Football League. But
the thing that I've said was, if this guy gets in your camp, watch out.
Yeah,
because
he's a self-made man, this kid. And we've gotten a chance to watch it from the day he arrived. I mean, he has worked himself into this, unlike anything that you'll ever see. Kids don't work as hard as this kid. Kids don't have the hunger that this kid has. But the point I'm making is like, this isn't Andre Johnson running around out there. This isn't
Right.
Michael Irvin running around out there. These kids are maxing their talent. All four of them are maxing their talent right now and playing at an incredibly high level. And yeah, just like Gino Toretto won the Heisman, Cam Ward might win the Heisman, but these guys are driving the bus to get them there, LT, and they're doing it collectively. And KB and these guys got to be doing something right.
They are. They really are. And like I said earlier, I mean, it's just not them coaching them right there on the field, because as soon as they step off that field, they're still coaching them as far as, hey, as far as their attitudes, making sure everybody's still into it, making sure everybody knows that, hey, this is a long season. Everybody's going to eat, like you said, IC. And that's a skill in itself, because when you got those guys, I've had it where I've had a guy, Devontae Parker. He was a guy.
He was.
But I had to bring all those other guys along with them to even though they weren't on that same level as far as, that, but they came along, and that's the way I made sure they understood that, hey, man, this ain't just Devontae Parker's show. We're going to depend on you guys too. They're going to double cover him at some point, and it's going to be up when your numbers call. You got to make plays, and they understood that. And see, that's where the game gets, again, it's putting your arm around a kid and letting them know that we're going to count on you at some point. You just be ready when it's your call. And I think these guys have done an outstanding job of all staying in it. They all have taken turns, and, again, kudos go out to their position coaches, because I think they've done an outstanding job. And I tell them that all the time, man. You guys are doing an awesome job.
Like beyond awesome, like off the charts. And you see it showing up week after week. Devontae Parker, like you mentioned him, you coached him at Louisville. Once he left you at Louisville and came to the NFL, he didn't max out his capability, not even close, Lamar. I mean, I'm not bashful to say that. He played for the Dolphins for a while. I mean, did not come close to fulfilling what he potentially could have been. These guys are fulfilling what they can be, and they are maxing themselves out. And that, to me, is what is so impressive. And it's a tribute to the program that Mario's running, where these kids understand that they are expected to act like pros. They're expected to be on time. They're expected to practice hard every single day. And they are seeing the benefits of it on Saturday. And I got to think that is so important, because they're asked to do so much and they're asked to work so hard. And if they're not seeing the residual value of that, I got to believe it would be pretty tough to get them to do it the next week.
Well, I mean, again, you're undefeated, and that helps, because you're winning. Guys are making plays, and they bought into it, and that's the most gratifying thing, that all of them have bought into it, because when you get that much talent in one room, it's easy for guys to say, man, you know what? I ain't getting the ball. I want the ball. But I think all those guys, through that leadership, you got guys coming from different teams. And the one thing I do like about this receiving squad, I don't think any of them were 5 stars.
No.
Okay. And so they've earned the right. They've earned those stars on the college level. They might not have been 5 stars in high school, but they earned the 5-star right now. And that's a beautiful thing, because that means they've developed somehow, some way, through another school or another, but they all have come together and they're working towards one common goal, and they have great leadership in that room, from the coach on down to the players. And it's just been great to be around those guys and to watch them every week. I mean, because it just, Mike said, hey, he wants to be in there. No, he don't. And neither do I. But, I just look at him sometime and go, where would I fit in? Where would I fit in? I don't know. I don't know if I'll be playing, because them guys are good, man. The game has changed. They're good. They're really good. They do a lot of good stuff. And, it's funny to watch them run certain routes, and then I kind of give a little insight on them, and they go, oh, okay, cool. They like that. And they tried a little bit. I'm like, okay, I give you a little old school flavor, because the old school flavor was successful a little bit. We know a little bit. Me and Mike, we know Reggie, we know a little bit, but the game has changed. And Reggie, you listen to Reggie, because he's still coaching these guys on a high level. He's coaching in Indianapolis. So, it is, I pick his brain a little bit about certain things he teaches those guys. And, it's a fun time. And like Mike said, man, for us to be around these guys and to instill a little wisdom into them, and those guys listen, it makes us feel good. Hey, we might get knocked out of record books, but that's what ball is about. You raise some guys behind you, and you hope that they're just as good. I don't have any ill feelings. Maybe a little bit. Mike Harley broke it, but that's all good. He played like 9 years, but it's all good.
We got Kelvin Harris chiming in the chat, because we got Cam Ward, and there's no doubt about it. Cam Ward he's an eraser, man. Like he's playing at such a high level himself that it doesn't matter what happens in a game. Like, he's just erasing it all. Defense has problems, gives up a few touchdowns. No problem, man. Just give me a few minutes. And, he makes the plays. He's delivering the ball right on the money. He is impacting these kids as well. So my question for you is, did Gino Torretta, he played football at the highest of levels that one year where he wins the Heisman, and he had great receivers like, you guys. How much did the level that he was playing at impact you guys back then when that was going on?
I mean, the one great thing about Gino was that he was a winner. So we just never thought that we were going to lose with him back there, because he had won so many games. You look at his track record, he didn't lose that many games as a starter. So we knew he had that type of confidence. And he also got to the point where he understood that I'm going to let my playmakers make plays. And, you ask him now, and he'll say, hey, man, I delivered the ball to those guys, and they did what they did. And, the rest is history. And so he trusted us enough with Coach Harrison's offense that, he brought that from the West Coast, and it was still fairly new, and it was very confusing for people because they didn't have 3 and 4 good DBs. They might have 2 good DBs, and those other 2 were getting exposed. And so people had to start really recruiting really good DBs. And now, you remember when we would play like an Oklahoma State, them dudes had on neck rolls. And I would tell them before the game, bro, it's going to be a long day for you, homie. You ain't going to be able to cover nobody out here with no neck roll on. Because they were used to being, they were tackling. They were great tacklers, but they weren't great cover guys. And so the game changed because, we start splitting out 4 guys, 5 guys sometimes. Notre Dame started doing it. Everybody started doing it. So what you have to do, you got to go get better DBs. You can't have no just straight tacklers out there no more with neck rolls on, playing safety and corner. And that's how the game kind of changed, man. Coach Harrison brought that from the West Coast. Notre Dame picked it up, and the rest is history because everybody started splitting guys out. And you put Rocket Ishmael in the slot. What do you think is going to happen? He's matched up on a freaking linebacker. Unless they're playing us, it's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
So people start having to say, wait a minute, we can't let these guys by formation dictate who's on who, because that's all we were doing. Like Steve Spurrier. Oh, and Steve Spurrier just took it to another. Oh, he was the king of mismatches. Chris Doran, Willie Jackson, 6'3", 6'4", inside playing tight end, wide receivers matched up on a linebacker. Come on, man. Now, if you put a little guy in there, what's going to happen? They're going to say, okay, now we're going to run the ball with Eric Rett. I mean, the game has just changed where it's all about the matchups. And now what's happening is you see it's hard to match up when you got 4 good guys out there and a running back and a tight end. The great thing, we have tight ends. But our running backs have made a lot of plays with those little shuffle passes that Cam has done. I mean, I love watching that because it seems like Martinez, he don't hesitate when he catch that little shuffle pass. Boy, he is downhill.
Downhill.
What? And he has good footwork too. People, him and Mark have really good footwork. If you watch them at the running backs, they really can jump, move, jump, cut, and they can do a lot of good stuff and live too. We have a lot of depth over there on offense. It just makes me smile.
Yeah, we really, really do. I'm going to tell you something else. I give these kids a lot of credit to, and credit for, rather. And one of our viewers is bringing it up here. I'm going to pop it up on the screen in a minute. But there's been some up and downs in some of these games, and the defense has been struggling at times. You don't ever see the guys on offense turning on the guys on defense. Like, Cal goes up by 25. Duke peels off a 28-3 run. This team stays together, and so Hurricane 357 saying, I wonder if the offense feels salty towards the defense. You're down there on the sideline. I know what your answer is going to be here, but is that something to take for granted, LT?
Well, when your head coach preaches togetherness every day, and he reiterates it over and over again, it's no finger point, man. They compete. I love watching them compete. They talk crap out there. I mean, it is like the old days. I didn't see this with the last coach. I'm not throwing Manny on the bus, but I didn't see this with guys. I mean, they're competing. I mean, 2-minute drill is great. I mean, it's great to watch because they are competing and it means something to them, and there's no finger point. I've never heard on the sideline, man, come on, defense, y'all need to tighten up. Nope. Because the offensive guy is saying, all right, let's go do our thing then. And defense said, all right, offense, let's go, baby, let's go. Put some points up. We're gonna get that stop for you.
But a lot of teams that would happen, right, Lamar? That would happen on a lot of teams.
Oh yeah, I've been on those teams too, where it's happened, and it's not a fun team because there's a fraction, and it's hey, what happens when you guys start doing bad? Are we supposed to yell back at you too? I mean, so it becomes finger pointing, name calling, and all kind of stuff. But I don't see any of this. I haven't seen any of this on this team, whether it's been on the game or at practice. They're competitors, and they love competing, and they get after each other. That's what we used to do on Green Tree. We got after each other, and after we walk off practice field, it's like good day. Nobody taking it into the locker room. They just working.
LT, I kind of wanted to take it back with you before we get to this question. When we were talking about the wide receivers, something kind of came up in my mind about, how Coach KB is going to translate this to recruiting because, I'm out at all these practices and, it's not just Miami coaches there. I remember there was a team in the Big Ten. I'm not going to name any names. He was kind of talking to, a few Miami commits and other guys at American Heritage. He's like, hey, we had 2 wide receivers go for 1,000 yards last year and their eyes kind of just lit up. They're like, whoa, really? So just as a former wide receiver coach, just having a year like this where you have multiple guys succeeding, one guy breaking records, how do you kind of translate that to recruiting, and just how big of a factor would you say having Devontae Parker help recruit another big time wide receivers?
Well, when when guys see this, when they see the success that these guys are having, they're looking at what year are they. They're like, oh, well, them guys about to leave, and who they got behind it? Oh, I think I'm good enough. I can go in there and do the same thing. So it kind of turns those guys up. They get excited about it. I mean, and they're doing a good job recruiting. I mean, they got some guys on that list that are decommitted from other schools and jumped on our list. And there's some studs. There's some real studs. And, I've been thinking about going out, checking out some of these high school games and just watching myself to see, see how their interactions are on the sideline and how, if it's a good enough kid that's going to be able to mix with KB and what he's got. Now he has his group. Now he has his style. Now he has, his own little deal. So now these kids, if they're good enough to get in this group, they got to be the right guy. They can't be that guy that's going to be sitting over there pouting like a little girl. I won't say girl. They can't be over there pouting like, they can't be pouting like that. You know what I mean? I got daughters, so I ain't gonna say girl. But you can't be over there pouting.
You're gonna find the lock changed at home.
Yeah, I already know. It's been a long day.
Anyway, so I said so. Mad Rapper says defense is not good, missed tackles, bad angles, secondary. So I mean, everybody sees it. It's not like it's invisible. But what you're saying is the tone is set by the head coach that we are not doing this. We are not pointing fingers. We are not going to come unraveled from within, and we're going to support our defense while they're struggling because they're going to turn it around in the second half. They're only going to give up 3 points. They did it at Cal too, which allowed them to come back from down 25.
See, some of the viewers, you know, I can't say they didn't play the game. I don't know their history or whatever, but you know, if you're out there on a Mario Cristobal coach team, especially this year, it won't be allowed, man. You know, you just jump in line and you do your job. Eventually, you're going to do your job to the best of your ability, and it's going to help your team. And that's all he wants you to do. He wants you to do your job, keep fighting, keep playing hard. We'll make the proper adjustments, and we'll score points because they feel real good about this offense. And why wouldn't you? You know, all you're asking is for your defense to get a couple stops. That's it. Mm-hmm. And I think, again, Guidry knows that he has that offense. Now, you saw what Duke was doing. And give Duke a lot of credit. They saw man-to-man, and they ran every freaking play, the rubs and, you know, all that good little stuff. They even switched sides of the receivers, had us a little loss. Okay, well, guess what? Didn't work in the second half. Once we went into that locker room, we tightened up some stuff, start bumping stuff, you know, start going more too high safety, you know, zone blitzing. I mean, everything and those defensive ends and that defensive line got turned up, and they started getting to number 6. And as you saw, when they started getting to him, he started having some errant passes. He was hitting everybody in the first half. He looked like he was up for the Heisman. But second half, nah, Guidry had a trick for him, and they looked kind of confused out there. He looked bewildered, that quarterback. And once he started getting hit by Bain a couple times, you know, and another guy you got to give some credit to is number 9, man. I see him dropping a lot in the flat. You know, he's like almost like a linebacker sometimes. You know what I mean? And at first I was like, why is he doing that?
Why is he doing that?
But now I think against USF he didn't look real comfortable, but now he looks very comfortable out there. You know, he's making plays on screen passes and stuff like that. It's been a work in progress of defense, obviously. Would Guidry have liked them to play better for 4 quarters? Yes. But if he can get some stops in 2 quarters, which he has been doing, it's been working out. So that's my take on it.
All right, let me take a minute here and let's hear from our friends at Caneswear.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There it is. I'm going to give you the whole screen here for a minute, LT, so you can do a little fashion show for us.
But I'm gonna rock this. I'm gonna rock this up in Atlanta. I thought it was gonna be cold. But the weather says it's gonna cooperate a little bit. But you know, once I put it on, I can't take it off. I'm very superstitious. Just like in Louisville when I had on that sweater, it was getting a little toasty out there, But I had to keep it on because we was winning. But there's a lot of good stuff here at Caneswear. I mean, look at this. Oh, that's nice right there.
I like that.
Just had military appreciation. Let's see here. Oh, there's some more. Look at it. Like the army right here. I mean, this has got a lot of stuff here. Like you said, Gary, everything you want It's here in Caneswear, Canes gear.
It doesn't matter what you want: a hat, a T-shirt, a jersey, a polo, magnets. You know, anything that it has a U logo on it, they have at Caneswear, which is a 2655 South University Drive in Davie. You can shop them 24 hours a day at caneswear.com. You got a good look of the store there behind Lamar.
The old school jackets, baby. They got the old school jackets. You know, remember, you guys might be too young. Actually, you definitely too young. They got the green. They got the green old 2 Live Crew jacket, man.
Really?
Man. What? Bam! Woo-hoo-hoo! Boy, I see this on album covers, man.
I know about all
I'm going to tell you something else they have at Caneswear. Okay. They got the Xavier Restrepo line. Okay.
Yes,
and nobody even knows this.
Oh, give me one of them Restrepo shirts. Hold on. Wait. Look at this right here. This that same jacket. It turns inside out. Look at that.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh,
look at this. Look at this too, LT.
What's that?
It's the Restrepo shirt.
Oh, we got a Restrepo shirt. No, it's award. And this award.
And we got this look.
Got them all.
And they even got Restrepo clothes for the ladies. How about that?
Ooh, look at that. You got it all here, and you get to.
And you know what else? They might even have Restrepo one day.
There's my guy.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
What's up, X?
How are you?
We appreciate you coming on tonight. I know you've been busy. We've had a busy night ourselves. My internet was going out, but we had Michael Irvin on earlier. We had Sam Brown Jr. on, and now we have X on. And we appreciate you coming on. You know you were at FCA tonight. I tell people all the time, man, what a good guy you are. You from day one I met you, you've been so awesome, very respectful as far as, you know, hey, can you tell me what I need to work on? I mean, and you just soaked it up, man. Have you always been that way?
First of all, I appreciate all the praise. Again, all glory to God. I'm a very, strong Christian, and I mean, I've always been that way, just trying to learn in and out, because I don't know everything, because I'm not the best receiver ever, So any little details or hints I could get, and especially from guys like yourself, Michael Irvin, Santana Moss, some of the guys have done it and dominated at the biggest levels. Not just done it at the biggest levels, dominated at the biggest levels. I'm just super open to learning any, new clues, and it's like I learn something new every single time I talk to you, So just want to say I appreciate you a lot, and I'm glad that we've, cemented this relationship.
Yeah, man, you about to make me cry around this thing, dog. Hold on, Claire. Hold on, Claire. Hey, man, I've had the chance to meet your family, be around your family. I found out that you play golf on Sundays, man.
Yep.
That's your relaxation?
His whole family plays.
I'm a golf addict. Like, I can't live without golf. I think that's the next thing after football that I'm going to try to pursue.
I was playing out in San Francisco for the Cal game out at Harding Park, and I'm just riding along there. I ran into your whole family out there. It was so funny. Your mom's driving the golf cart. Your little brother's sleeping next to her. Dad and I don't know who he was with or whatever. They're out there smacking balls. So golf clearly runs in the Restrepo blood.
No doubt. I like to say that's my best form of therapy after games, trying to move my body, all the soreness out and stuff like that. So that helps me get up and moving. So I love it.
When they showed a clip of your first catch or something against Duke. I think that was your first catch. I mean, you've had so many catches since then. Look, what was Xavier Restrepo thinking after catch number 1?
I was super excited. to be able to play for the University of Miami was like a lifelong dream. To do it my freshman year, it was the last game of the season, and just to be able to work to get in the rotation after a year where I had so much contact tracing for COVID and stuff like that, so I had to sit out a couple games, and then, you know, all the people telling me I can't do this, I can't do that, and then finally getting into the final game of the season and being able to catch the same route that I broke the record on, which is insane, versus the same team, which is insane. But to be able to, you know, bring that in from one of the best quarterbacks I've played with, De'Aaron King, it was just an honor, you know, and I was just super proud. But I knew that, you know, the work had to get started.
Hey, X, I've been blessed. I've gotten to cover all these guys, Michael Irvin to Lamar to Reggie Wayne, Santana Moss, Andre Johnson, some of the greatest names in receiving history. I've covered them all at the U. I don't know that I've ever seen a player at any position, much less a receiver, that has made himself the way that you have. You've done it through hard work, you know, probably, I assume every day of the year. You have made yourself the leading receiver to play at the University of Miami. Take us through that journey. Where did that come from? You know, that drive, the work ethic.
No doubt, no doubt. Again, I am a very God-fearing man, and I just feel like I can do all things through Him. You know, I mean, every single day I wake up, I thank Him for you know waking me up, because I mean every day is not promised. The tragedy that just happened to Mark Sr. Just really made me think about life, and I actually this past week got over, not got over, but like fixed a family situation that I'm just like super extremely proud and grateful for, because I mean in life, you know, life's way too short to hold any grudges or to you know, not talk to somebody or something like that. So again, this past week I've done that, and you know, when one of your brothers loses somebody, that's it's hard. It's hard, you know, because then you start thinking about like, oh, what if it's my people's, and you just get emotional and just start thinking, you know. So I think where all that, you know, motivation that I've, you know, built myself into becoming one of the, you know, best receivers, I feel like that's just all from my faith, honestly. I give all the glory to the man above, because again, I've been in very dark places. I've been in very light places too, but again, I try to give Him glory every single second of the day, and He never fails. You know, He never ever fails.
X, I want to ask you, you know, over these past 2 years with Coach Kevin Beard coming in, just how big of a role has, you know, Coach KB, Coach Werner, Coach Cooney, all those guys in that receiver room really have played in kind of getting your game to the level it's at right now where you're breaking these records?
No doubt, for sure, hands down, best receiver coaching group in the United States. You know, I mean, the detail that goes into every single film session, practice, every single rep is just insane. I've never seen it before. I'm super proud, super blessed to be around guys like that. Coach KB is obviously the leader of the room, but Coach Cooney is a great role model as well. He's been there at the U for a long time now, and Coach Donovan Varner has done it at the collegiate level in the ACC. You know, he's had 1,000 yards, had first team All ACC, and I probably say I spend most of my time with Coach Varner. You know, and I mean, I'm just super blessed to be around that group of guys, always pushing me to be better than what I am.
You know, one of the things that you and I talked about a couple of years ago about leadership, about being a leader. And, you know, I remember saying to you, you working after practice is going to become contagious. And you just kind of looked at me. And then I started coming and I started seeing you after practice. You losing?
We'll see in a minute.
I blacked out for a little bit. I said, he comes back. I talked to him about working out the practice and how. There you go. There you go. And we talked about working out the practice and how it's going to become contagious, and you keep doing your thing. And now I go out there, it's like tons of guys at the practice. Do you, when you look back at that moment, it was a whole different group, and now you have a different group, and everybody's kind of on the same page. Talk about that a little bit, about the leadership part of it.
No doubt. Again, like you said before, or like I said before, I try to get each and every single, clue, detail, tip that I can get from guys like yourself. So when you told me that, I mean, I just took it to a whole another level. And again, I'm gonna keep on saying this over and time again. Being a God-fearing man, I feel like you didn't tell me that on that day for no reason, So, again, we have a lot of great guys that came in to our team that played a lot of football. That definitely helped with that. But I mean, it just started honestly by taking a couple guys. And I mean, at halftime of games, when I'm speaking to the receiver group, they see my passion. They see, um, and I hate to like talk about myself, but they see the success. They see the proof is in the pudding. So, I mean, again, we have a great group of guys that have zero ego now. I think that was the most important thing, is dropping everyone's ego. And I mean, we're rolling right now as a receiver group.
Everyone's getting to eat too. I mean, you're putting up these massive numbers, but I mean, you look at the Duke game alone. Jacoby has 4 for 74. Horton has 6 for 71. Sam had a couple big plays. That's got to be unbelievable just for the vibe in your room and the morale and everybody just feeling good about what they're contributing to the team.
No doubt. I mean, you look week in and week out, it's like someone else is getting 100 yards every single game, and that's why we're so, dominant on offense right now. It's because we're playing unselfish football. We don't care who the credit gets to, because we know that at the end of the day, the ball's going to find you. And if it doesn't, it's not your night. But you better be having 6, 7 pancakes. You better, be celebrating with your teammates, show good, high spirit for one another. And I guarantee you that first play of the next game is going to you. So that's what it's all about, man. We have a great culture right now in our team. We have a great, coaching staff that puts a great game plan together for us. And I mean, yeah, we have a great group of guys.
You also had in that game that you broke records. I saw you had some key blocks too, man. Your blocking is a little underrated, man. You do your job inside. That's awesome, man. And I think to be able to be a complete receiver, you definitely have to do both. Am I right?
100%. No doubt. 100%. Again, I talk with my slot receiver coach, Coach Varner, a lot, and Coach KB and Coach Cooney. They definitely, press blocking and stuff like that. But Coach Varner, told me a little insight, on what NFL scouts are looking for, and he always kept it real with me. And last year, my blocking wasn't, to the level it is now whatsoever. And me and Coach Varner definitely have a relationship where it's like he could cuss me out and I'm listening to him. Eyes are locked in on him, and thankfully he doesn't have to do that a lot. But me and him are definitely like that. And he told me, he said, "Your downfall right now is when you don't have the ball in your hand. Like, people know what you can do with the ball in your hand." This year, he told me this in the spring. He said, "This year, you have to take that to a whole nother level, or else you're going to be in the same place you are at the end of this year."
Hey, what did I tell you? What did I tell you about your stance? I could tell when the ball wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm running, or when it's a run play or a pass play. And again, I took all those things into note, and I take blocking very, very seriously, because at the end of the day, if I'm gonna run at a guy and he doesn't know whether I'm gonna block him or run a route, that guy's in trouble. It's hard enough. It's hard enough for the guys to guard me already, and our rest of our receivers already. So when we come off the ball like that on a run play and get hands and physical on them, it's hard. It's hard for the defense. I mean, Coach KB has said that tons of DB coaches this year already after games have said how physical receivers we are. So I think that's the biggest compliment.
Hey, one of our viewers has a question for you. What's it mean having the former players on the sidelines like Michael Irvin, like Lamar, cheering you, encouraging you, working with you?
No doubt. Like I said
wait,
before.
hold on, man. Well, I ain't kissing you, dog. You know, I give you a little hug, but I ain't kissing.
Yeah. No doubt. I think that's just Mike. But no, for sure. I mean, like I said before, just having great, role models like that, and again that have dominated at the level that I'm playing at right now. I would be real dumb and ignorant not to listen to them, and they all tell me things that are gonna help me. I know that it comes from their heart and nothing is gonna hurt me. So whenever those guys say anything at all, Andre Johnson included, I just fully lock in and try my best to put forth what they're asking me to do.
What do you think of Mike's shirt, man? What do you think of Mike's shirt?
Man, it's all sweaty, man.
I told you.
Whenever...
Wait, I'm glad you're saying it because I've been saying it. Those guys don't really know. Tell them, man, it's sweaty.
It's literally like, no joke. It's like he jumped in a pool and came back out. It's that sweaty. It's soaking wet.
He is up and down that sideline. I say all the time, you can only hope to contain Mike. You can't control him.
Yeah.
You just want to contain him, dog. He is. I looked one time. He was down in Louisville. He was down there talking to you. You were looking at the little video thing, and he was down there talking to you while you were trying to look at the thing. I'm like, look at Mike, man. Reggie's like,
funny story about his shirt. Cal game when we came back, I came on the sideline. He was hugging me. Mind you, Mike's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". I'm 5'10". Man, my entire face was just soaked in his sweat. And I'm like, oh man. I was like, you're lucky we came back right now, because if we didn't, I'll push you off of me.
oh man, hey man, hey, I am, and we all are. All of us, man. We just wanted to give you your flowers, man. Say how greatly we appreciate you, man. You and that whole group. You definitely deserve your flowers, man. I'm so proud of you. Couldn't have happened to a better person. Remember, I think you got 19 touchdowns. You need to get 4 touchdowns this week to pass me, and then you get Mike next week. All right, go get him. That's the whole goal in the thing. Get his ass. Okay, I need you to get Mike so I can knock him off. Okay, knock him off.
Right now, Rich, I appreciate you a lot, because I appreciate you. You already know. We'll talk, every day.
Yes, sir.
But
yes, sir.
I appreciate all you guys for giving me this amazing opportunity, and God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Keep going,
baby.
And all you guys have to get the Caneswear and buy that Restrepo stuff now.
That's right.
Please do.
And hey, it's gonna be right beside a dry Michael Irvin shirt too, because he put it in here too.
right, for sure. I appreciate you.
All right,
guys.
my brother.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, man. Keep it going. Xavier Restrepo, everybody. I wasn't joking, LT. This kid's made himself. Like, he has made himself into the beast that we are seeing every Saturday now, and just through hard work and desire. And you've been around a lot of kids. You've been around a lot of teammates. That's not something to be taken for granted, Lamar.
The hard work, the proof, like you said, proof is in the pudding, man. He just, from day one, I was like, man, who is this kid, man? He comes up to me and say, hey, what can I work on? And I was like, you want me to tell you for real? Yeah. I said, all right. He said, anytime. I said, all right, I'm gonna be watching you. And I mean, it's never been like he looked at me like, man, don't tell me that, or don't. I know he's always just like, okay, I'm gonna work on that. Okay, thank you. And that to me says that he wants to be coached. There are a lot of guys at that position don't like to be coached. They think they know it all, especially the kids today. But it's very refreshing to have a guy like that, because what happens is the rest of those guys, everything becomes contagious. When you're being successful, they're going to say, why is he so good? Is it he's taking coaching from his coach? Is he taking coaching from other people? Is he staying after practice? Is he catching extra passes during practice. I mean, they started to watch. You know, the young kids, they started to watch. I watch those young receivers. I watch them watch him. You know, so it's like they're getting it because they see the greatness and the work that he's put in. And on top of that, he's a great dude. You know, he talked, you know, he came to us after FCA. You know, he has his, you know, he said he can't all things because of God, man. He believes that. And so with that being said, he's just riding it out, man. He's working hard and believing, and he knows that the guy upstairs is definitely taking care of him.
All right, let's go big picture here for a few minutes, guys. And you know, Uncle Bill brings up 2017, and Miami was 10-0 in 2017. That 10-0 to me didn't have the same feel as this 10-0.
No, I wasn't drinking the Kool-Aid. I wasn't drinking that Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean,
I was the one that was saying, man, hey, don't believe in that, bro.
Yeah, it's there, and there's a lot of similarities though. Like they were winning close games late in the game and stuff. Like you know, we won a couple of those games earlier, and you know, improbable victories when you think you're losing, they're winning. They get 10-0, and I remember it like it's yesterday. They go up to Pittsburgh, and it's Thanksgiving weekend, and they have a big Thanksgiving feast in the hotel up at Pitt. They brought all the families up, a lot of distractions. And they went out the next day against Pitt and were unfocused, sloppy, weren't executing. They played a horrific game. They lose to Pitt. They lose the next game to Clemson in the ACC title game, and then they lose the bowl game to Wisconsin. And poof, just like that undefeated season, Miami's back. Everyone's yelling. We got the number 2 in the country. Just like that, Lamar, it all went away. All right. How does this team avoid that? You know, they got a tough game this weekend at Georgia Tech. It's a dangerous opponent.
It's a danger. Yeah.
No question. I think, you know, Wake Forest at home, hopefully they'll be okay. But Syracuse in the Dome on Thanksgiving weekend is a dangerous opponent. You know, it might be, you know, I don't know if they're going to be what bowl game they'll be playing for or whatever, but they got a quarterback. They can throw the football. That's a dangerous opponent. How's this team finish it off, Lamar?
Well, I think one of the things that's a key in this, Mario says 1-0 each week, and they believe in that. You know, you got to go out and beat your opponent no matter what, no matter how. You got to go and get this win. You know, hey, you might give up some points. You might have a couple of turnovers here and there. The one thing they haven't done is had a lot of dumb penalties, so I appreciate that part of it. But, you know, that other team, they're going to give you everything they have. And these 3 games, they're going to give you their best. Now, if you allow them to play, stay with you, their confidence is going to grow. Georgia Tech, one thing Georgia Tech has, well, 2 things. They have a good O-line and a good D-line, the trenches. They pride themselves on the trenches. So, you know, Mario has reiterated, hey, we got to play well on both sides of the ball in the trenches. They pride themselves on it. They got good skill players, but we have good skill players too. So, you know, and he's up for the challenge. He's telling them not to think that we're that great. You just do your job and you'll win this game. You know, it's gonna be some highs and lows as we've seen, but they haven't given up. They're not going to give up. They're going to keep pushing, and that causes them to win these games. And like somebody said, Georgia Tech ain't no slouch. They're not. You're right. They're not a slouch. Now,
dangerous.
They're dangerous. These next 3 games are dangerous because you're undefeated. You know, and even Wake Forest, you don't know what trick plays they're going to run the first half or the second half. I mean, that's the part of being undefeated towards the end of the season that's hard, man. I've been there a couple of times. It's very hard because that team is going to give you everything, stuff that you haven't even seen on film. They've been saving it for this is a great opportunity for this team to beat a high-ranked team. So they're going to change some things up, and you got to take the body blows. Sometimes they might even hit you with a punch to the face. but you got to be able to take it and not fall down. Or if you do, you get up for the 8 count, and then you just start winning and they're behind. And that's what Miami has done. You look at Duke. That first half, bam, bam, bam. They gave them body blows, start hitting the bam, 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 knocking us down a little bit. We got up. Second half, we came out. We're a whole different team. Now we started throwing haymakers at them. And our haymakers were hitting them hard. And so that's the whole thing. You got 3 games left in this regular season. They're going to be tough games, but they're only going to be tough if you don't do what you're supposed to do. They're going to be tougher. So, and Mario is preaching that to these guys. He's telling them, hey, man, they're going to give us everything they got. They ain't going to hold nothing back. But if we go out and do what we know we can do, we'll win this game. We'll survive all their little trickery, and we'll get down to focus, and we'll win the game.
I see. How does this team fit the finished business here? As it goes forward.
Yeah, it might sound cliche to people outside the building, but I just think you got to buy into that 1-0 mentality because, at this point, you're everybody's Super Bowl, and you got the target, the size of the world on your back right now, and these guys have, been through, a 5-7 season, a 7-5 season last year. Now it's their time to kind of be the bullies, and they've been doing that so far this year, but every single game, you got to go in with that clear mindset, I think. And, it starts up top, whether it be Mario, whether it be, I think, obviously, what Cam Ward does on the field is absolutely amazing. But just his mindset off the field and him commanding these guys and wanting guys to be better, I think is something that kind of, I'm not going to say gets overlooked and taken for granted, but having a leader like that with his type of mindset, because, we said it during the beginning of the show, this guy's different. Who do you know throws an interception like that and then goes in the press conference after the game and says, I'll do it again? Like, he has that much confidence in himself, and I feel like that type of confidence just oozes throughout the team and everybody buys in. So I think just having that 1-0 mindset, sticking to what, got you to this point. I wasn't, covering the Canes during that 2017 season, but, if you have, guys like Lamar that's at the practice that's saying, hey, I'm not buying this Kool-Aid, and, there was definitely something off on this team. I feel like with this year's team, Mario has got it almost to the point where he wants to get this program. I'm not saying, they're where they need to be. They're the perfect program right now, but I just feel like how this team is built, how this team is wired mentally with guys like Xavier, even, a guy that's seen it all, the highs, the lows, and, the highs of the highs. I feel like those are the guys you're going to lean on in these last 3 games of the regular season to power you to the ACC championship and then power you to the playoffs at the end of the day.
All right, so all the eyes are on the defense. I mean, it's no secret. That's where the greatest room for improvement is. And, LT, when you watch the defense up and downs and stuff, I flat see a unit that has room to get better.
Yeah,
I don't think they've peaked yet. I don't think they've come close to peaking. Panhandle Kane. This is what's your thoughts about the pass rush? They're running a bunch of stunts. It seems to be very slow in developing. This defense does not look in sync. Their performances are a little uneven, or very uneven. They're coming and going through different stages of games. If this team is going to make it to the finish line, clearly, obviously, the defense has got to play better. I think they can. What do you say, LT?
Yeah, again, I really do believe they can play better. I just, again, I enjoy watching the adjustments, and watching those guys in the second half after they've gotten a chance to sit down and see the deficiencies and the stuff that they've given up. And, again, it's been incredible to watch because a lot of the fans in the first half, man, they are going through it. They are going off, and what are we doing? I mean, man to man. But they come out the second half and they make those adjustments. I mean, you got to understand something about these teams sometimes, especially if they have off weeks. Like Georgia Tech had an off week, so ain't no telling what the hell they're gonna run first half. There's no telling, guy. There's no telling. This ain't the old Georgia Tech with Paul, whatever his name, running the triple beer option and stuff.
Yeah.
This is a new Georgia Tech with a quarterbacking king. If he plays, he's dynamic. They got little running backs. They got pretty good receivers. They're good in the trenches on both sides. They got some fast DBs. This is not an easy team, but they also are led by their quarterback who, he's going to be coming back. He got an off week. I think he's been out for 3 weeks. So it's no telling what they're going to run. And we're going to have to take some of those body blows. You're going to have to take it. Now, the one constant is that we have Cam Ward that's also getting his data. And so he's putting his data together. And in the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, he's been pretty much dynamic because he's also putting his data together, just like the defensive coordinator and Shannon. They're putting data together, saying, "Okay, second half, we got something for you too." So it's gonna be interesting to watch, man. With some of those teams having weeks off before they play Miami, you're gonna get everything they got, and it's gonna take some time to adjust to it. And they're going to run out of one thing I can tell you about offensive coordinators in college football. I don't know why. They might run something one time and it might work. And then sometimes they don't even run it again. But they're going to hit you with that one shot. I would run it 3 times in a row before you get in that locker room to get the adjustment. I'm gonna run that thing till you stop it.
Yeah, we don't see that often.
They don't. That's what they don't do.
You're making a great point. Why? Like, you just rolled something out they've never seen before. They don't know how to defend it. Run the damn play again.
Run it again, dog. First play, I'm running. If it's a flea flick, I'm running that thing 3 times. You ain't stopping. You're going to stop that thing the 3rd time. Okay, good. You got me. All right. But we just got 2 touchdowns out of it. I'll take 2 for 1. All right. But they don't. I don't know why. They just don't. I mean, well, I have seen that they have against us with North Carolina, like we spoke on earlier, running it down Manny's throat. And then Florida State a couple years ago ran that counter play.
They ran it 31 times that game
with different running backs. Oh, Lord have mercy. There's 2 little running backs, 9 and whatever that means. But that's what you should do.
When they brought Lance Guidry here in his job interview, one of the first questions was, "Can you stop this counter play?" And they showed him the Florida State counter.
Good question. If he answered it right, he got the job. Yeah, they don't, man. They outthink, like Shabu Kane said, they outthink themselves. You're right. You're absolutely right. They will not run it again. And I'm wondering over there, they circle the play. We'll run it again. Don't wait till they get to the sideline to get the adjustments. Run it again.
Yeah. Hey, let's give Jennifer Miller some love, our official female viewer. She makes a great point here. The way this team is supporting each other, we hear it when we talk to the kids. You take Mark Fletcher recruiting Damian Martinez, a guy that's going to take reps from him. They're benefiting from the presence of each other, LT. They're fresh. They're not worn down. They're 10 games into the season. They're carrying it like 15 times a game each or so. And they're not banged up. They're not, they are like it's the first game of the season. It's the residual benefit of being together and not being jealous and not being intimidated by bringing a guy who's as good or better than you to share the position with you.
We've seen last year Mark got banged up. It's very refreshing to see these guys latter part of the year, they're still fresh. Like, they look just as good as they did in week 1. Because they're sharing reps, and they're also, and one thing I've noticed, if a guy is in the groove, they let him stay in there. If you notice that in the latter part of the game, who's ever hot, they just kind of let them stay in there.
Yes.
So they get those carries and they're in the groove of the game. And it's been great to watch, man. Those running backs, they do their thing. Speaking of Fletcher, I meant to bring up to X. He breaks the record and he tells Fletcher that this is for his family. This
for
is
your dad. Yeah.
He just broke the record, man. He thinking about a teammate, man. That's some awesome stuff, man. That shows you where this team is. And again, being around these guys, they genuinely like each other. Like I don't see factions. I don't see like, you know, they seem like they really like each other and enjoy being each other's teammates. And I see you've been on some teams probably that, you know how that thing is, man. Dudes don't like each other and they don't like the coach and just a bunch of crap going on, and you wonder why your record's not that good, right?
He's on Team Jennifer now. Look at this one.
Hey, shout out Jennifer. I think we met her. Steve and I met her last week. She said she's been watching CaneSport all throughout the years. It's kind of gave me motivation too when she said that in person. I was like, thank you, Jennifer, because I really do appreciate it. And I love, you know, meeting everyone in person as well too. But
and Gary, it is awesome too. I see you said that people come up to you and say, "Hey, man, I watch you guys show, man. You guys do a good job, man." And it makes you feel good that, you know, we're just not sitting here. You know, I'm drinking Mountain Dew all night. You know, people are actually watching and listening to us, man. That it makes you really feel good. So, hey, guys, if you see me in the street or you see me at the game, I appreciate you telling me. Keep it up, you know, and tell your friends that we're here on Wednesday nights, and you never know who's going to show up on our show. That's you know, like tonight. We had 3 superstars on the show tonight, boy. Woo, I mean, besides IC. We had 4 then, you know what I mean?
We got to get Michael back for when he's not catching a plane. He's so awesome. You know, one thing I want to say about the defense, and we talk about potential and how, and yeah, they got to get better. They have to. Right. If the team is going to fulfill goals here, and they haven't accomplished anything yet. You know, the goals are coming ahead, but they're coming fast.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, you were out there in training camp. When we watched these guys, like there were days, like we're talking about the number 1 offense in the country that is evolved here. There were days out on that practice field where that offense couldn't do anything. So this defense is capable. They're capable without question. They have not even scratched the surface of what they can be. You agree?
Gary, you're definitely right about that. I mean, I see we shaking his head too. We saw those days where we're like, damn, the defense pretty good, man. You know, they're dang good. You know, they were doing some things. But the fact is that we see it in spurts. And you see them at times make some hella plays. Obviously, we see them make some bad plays, but we see them for the most part making good plays when they need to get stops. You know, you think about what they've been able to do in the second half of ball games, man. USF, they had their offense was dynamic too. They pushed the envelope. They kept you on the field, and we made the proper adjustments. You know, Cal, we made the proper adjustments. You know, Virginia Tech, you know, adjustments. I mean, it's been ongoing. You know, Florida, it really wasn't too much of an adjustment to be made. We just totally kicked their behind. But after that, I mean, besides FAMU or whatever, it's been where teams are going to draw up some good stuff. And Gidry has done a great job in the second half, him and Jason and the rest of that defensive staff of really changing things and making those proper adjustments and getting some stops in the second half because they know that our offense can score points and will score points. So it's been a great match, the offense and defense. And I think they are going to get better. They have gotten better. You know, you look at that Duke game, it was a whole second half of good defense. You know, it wasn't just like it was the third quarter or the fourth quarter. It was a good half of defense, and Gidry can smile on that because they were able to get some stops. And I think it really surprised Duke. I really did because they were like, wait a minute, we were just doing what we wanted to do, and now we can't do anything. You know, those interceptions, the fumble, I mean, it was great to watch that second half of the defense job that Gidry did in the second half.
Yeah. All right, I see. We're about out of showtime here. Before we let you go, any parting thoughts as Miami heads to Atlanta?
All right, let's get my little IC scouting report in. If Haynes King plays, I think it'll be a good game. If Haynes King does not play, it's going to be a complete blowout. That offense is absolutely atrocious when he's not playing. The 2 games he hasn't played, quarterbacks have thrown 4 interceptions to 1 touchdown. The running back's a little bit banged up right now too. Offensive line is great. Defensive line is good, but not as good. And I just think if he's there, it's a completely different game. If he's not there, take Miami by the spread or whatever. Throw your savings on it. If not, if it doesn't work out, don't ask me about it. I'm gonna be gone. But Canes by a million this weekend. So excited to see what those guys do. Another tough test on the road. Last time they were in Georgia Tech, Ja'Cory Brown had that big game. So hopefully there's another big game for the Canes in store this weekend in Atlanta.
I think we're going to see Haynes King. I
don't know, man. I think maybe they said they making us have to work hard and scouting and something. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, playing a little possum to make you spend 2 hours of practice trying to work on Haynes King's plays. Maybe not. It's gonna be interesting to see, but their coach has been a little coy about it, so we'll see what happens. I'm with you, IC. If he plays, they're a different team.
Yeah, no doubt.
If he doesn't, look out, buddy.
All right, IC. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Montreal Expos.
Montreal Expos. Oh, wait a minute. I hit the wrong button there. They love his hats, man. They love his hats. All right, before we get to word association, I do got to clean something up for one of our listeners here. There used to be a guy that used to call our shows named Ross, and he used to say Gary. Ian, I don't know what's happened to that guy. I mean, I'm like literally worried about what's happened to that guy. He has been gone for 2 years. I mean, I hope he's still alive. I have his number. I've tried to call him. He's a legend. I mean, he's the legend. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what's happened to him. But he has disappeared, literally. So maybe, hopefully, he resurfaces one day. All right, LT. Let's finish this off in word association style. Heck, we just mentioned them. We might as well start there. Haynes King.
Yeah, different ball game with this guy. He's a hell of an athlete. Great thrower at football. He's a good quarterback. But if he's not playing, they're in trouble. But if he is playing, defense is gonna have to try to figure him out. And if the guy's coming off an injury, our guys, you got a guy that's an athlete back there. He's gonna run the football. He's gonna take some hits, and that could be something where they might try to keep him in the pocket a little bit to not get him hit as much. But they're a different ball club when he's in there. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing works out, especially in the second half.
All right, let's do something a little different here. How about the Miami running game?
This is a good game to impose your will, as Mario says. Him and the coach over there, they have a history. They both are line guys, so there's going to be some running between the tackles. Put it that way. I really believe that Mario is going to try to run the football on his what do you call it? It's
his old coaching mate.
His old coaching mate. Yeah, he's going to try to run the football a little bit. He knows he can throw the ball, but I think having that success last week too, running the football. It opens up the pass. I truly believe that it really does open up the pass, and it gives you those play action passes like we were hitting across the middle, all that, because they do a lot of RPO stuff, and they don't mind giving the ball off either. And that's the thing, because when they give it off, those guys are coming downhill, and I think our running game is going to be very good this weekend. Okay, well, I don't care what the game plan is. I don't care what the running game's doing this weekend. There is no way in hell with plus 200 in the Heisman odds and being right there to win the freaking Heisman Trophy and what that would mean going forward. I don't know that Cam is going to allow that. My money's on Cam Ward to audible out of a few of those running plays that might get signaled in, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. You mean like on the last play he was in?
Yeah. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll believe that when I see it. But hopefully they run enough plays where everybody gets to eat a little bit. You mentioned him. Let's go. Brent Key, Georgia Tech head coach.
Knowing the backstory to this whole thing, they work together. And for them to be able to win that game where, unfortunately, we lost at home, he probably feels like you know, he has a little bit on Mario. Well, I'm sure he's having a little sleepless nights right now because this ain't the same Miami team that he was able to
ain't the same Mario coming to Atlanta this weekend.
This ain't the same Mario that's coming there. So Brent Key, he probably having a little sleepless nights right now. Man, they're an entirely different team than they were last year.
Hey,
so
all the way down, Mario's got his checks and balances right there next to him on the sideline the whole game.
But he also is a guy that prides himself on D-line and O-line. So it's going to be some, you know, in between the tackles, running game. Might be a quick game. Oh, well, I take that back because we definitely going to throw the ball. You're right. I was going to say it could be a quick game, but we're going to throw it some too.
We're going to throw it.
But, yeah, Brent, but I think he knows that. He said, man, they're going to run the ball, but they're going to throw it too. So
we know it's coming.
It's coming. It's coming, Brent. It's coming.
Yeah, but let me tell you, if they're executing at the level that they were executing at the other day in the second half, I mean, the preciseness of the routes, the timing of the throw, the ball placement, you know, all that coaching that Xavier was referring to. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can touch it and feel it, man. We're like seeing it. And this quarterback is accurate, and he puts the ball right in the right places, and he's hitting these guys right in the hands. Those slants to Horton.
Those guys are making plays for him.
You could throw against anybody when you're executing at that level of efficiency. That's true. All right, let's finish it off with Mario Cristobal.
Mario, great opportunity for you. You know, hey, we're not going to talk about a couple of years ago. And I think it's in the back of his mind, you know, hey, we're a whole different team and he knows it. And I think he's going to let Brent see it and give it to him because that was a very disappointing loss. And I know it still bothers him a little bit. And so with that being said, his focus is really on these guys right now, understanding that 1-0 each week. Also, all that poll stuff, it'll take care of itself if you continue to win. And that's pretty much his message. Hey, we have to do our job. Don't get caught up in all that poll stuff. As long as we win, as long as we play well, it'll all take care of itself. So, that's his message.
All right, LT, we got to thank everybody that came on the show tonight, beginning with the playmaker, Mr. Michael Irvin. We'll try like hell to get him back again. His presence is very special no matter where he is, especially on this show. So we'll try. Got to thank Sam Brown for popping in. Great to see him excelling here for the Miami Hurricanes. The X-Man, Xavier Restrepo, wiping all the old guys out of the record books, but he hasn't caught Lamar's final one yet. We'll see what happens this weekend in Atlanta. We got to thank Caneswear, of course, for being the presenting sponsor of tonight's show. 2655 South University Drive in Davie. La Spada Sub next door for feeding LT so he doesn't go home hungry from the Caneswear and the Lamar Thomas Show. There it is. And we got to thank all of you guys for watching as always and allowing us to have fun with you guys on Wednesday nights. We will be back next week to do it again. Hope to see a bunch of you guys up in Atlanta this weekend. For LT and IZ, I'm Gary. Thanks again, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Go Canes.